Yo, 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 what's up, man? We back. Fresh episode, Talking Game. I'm your host, Anthony LT King, Yellow Tape King, Anthony, whatever you call me, lets me know what I was on when you was fucking with me. And we have a super special CEO owner edition episode today. And we have Amy Rhodes, the owner of the Polk County Royals, in the house. How are you doing today?
Hey everybody.
You got me shy. I got a question though, real quick, because I told you before
That's cool.
I did my Googles. Does anybody still call you Tank?
No.
No,
No one calls it that.
nobody. You done with that? You done with that?
Done
All
with that.
right. So just to run it down, we got the youngest FBA owner ever at 21. Also, the first woman owner ever, right? Cool, cool. I do have a question. What gave you the courage to just walk up and say, "Hey, let me own one of these motherfuckers"? And I know you didn't
Um,
say that, but
I don't know. I've always just been this very bold person. My whole life, I've never backed down from nothing. And so once I was like, you know what, I could actually do this. It was no stopping me. I just, just came boldly and was like, hey, like what do I need to do to own this? Because, I'm in here.
nah, I feel you on that. I feel you on that. I feel you on that. But that's starting like kind of towards the end of it. I want to kind of go back to the beginning. I see you was from Indiana, came down to Florida. That had to be a huge culture shock. Just so you know, around the same age, like 9 or 10, I moved from North Carolina to Florida. But I used to come down here for the summers. I don't know how often you used to come down, but like how big of a change was that for you coming down from Indiana to Florida?
Man, it was such a change for me because, like, where I was at, I was surrounded by like my nieces and nephews, my siblings. So, like, when we moved here, we didn't have anybody. I didn't know anybody. So,
Yeah.
I was this new kid in a new place. Like, nobody knew of me. Nobody knew what I could do, what I was capable of, or nothing like that. So, it was starting all over. Like, coaches what I could do. And it was challenging, but always new adventures can always be fun. So it's definitely a fun one.
Yeah, that's true. Did sports, like I'm sure that helped you though, right? Because I see you played a little bit of everything.
I did.
You know,
I did.
softball, volleyball, basketball. You was a baller, clearly. So like, did you always play sports or did you like more so gravitate to sports because that was like easier for you to like become a social butterfly or get ingratiated in where you were?
Oh no, I started playing my first sport I got into was soccer. And I got into it when I was 7 years old, 6 or 7 years old.
Oh,
So I've literally been playing since I was a kid. And just a natural born athlete. Like anything, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna switch to this sport. I picked everything up so quickly. So it just came so naturally for me.
it's funny that you say that. I have the quote for the Lakeland from the Lakeland Ledger, natural born athlete at the top. Hey, I ain't mad at it. That is what's up. I do think an athletic female is better at picking up multiple sports than an athletic male, and I see it in my house with my daughter. Like my sons, they play one sport and they do their thing. My daughter wants to do everything, and she can barely try. And it's like, damn, it look like you've been out here for a while. You know what I'm saying? So I definitely get it. I definitely get it. Which sport were you best at? Do you feel like you were best at?
Um, that's a great question. Honestly, probably like it's really a tie between basketball and volleyball, really.
Okay.
Like I would dominate in both. Like in basketball, I was for 4 years, like all 4 years that I played in high school, I won Best Defensive Player of the Year. Like all 4 years, I
Wow.
was dominating in there, and in volleyball, like I literally had offers from everywhere my senior year for volleyball.
I I,
But
I see you were on your way volleyball wise.
yeah, I was
That's what's up. That's what's up. What sport did you like playing the most?
basketball, honestly. Nothing is like getting a fast break and just getting down the court. Like that adrenaline rush, no other sport's gonna give you that, honestly.
I feel you. Well, so were you like in see what's the equivalent to that in volleyball? Spiking the ball, I guess.
Yeah, getting
Yeah.
a hit. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. But hey, okay. So what would you rather do? Cross somebody up and get a bucket or get a chase down block?
Oh, a chase down block. That's just that's just ugh, that's just so nasty.
I feel you. I feel you. And that's like that gets you hyped. That raises the team excitement and everything, like a chase down block. So I definitely feel you on that. I feel you on that. So three sport athlete, right? Three sport. Am I missing something? We got four. Four sport.
I dabbled in a couple of other sports. Yeah.
Yeah. But volleyball, softball, basketball, and soccer for sure.
Yeah.
Okay. So we do have to talk about baseball injury to your knee. Was this like you get hurt? Was this senior year?
It was my senior year, yeah.
Senior year. What's this? A play at the plate?
It was so what had happened was it's actually the first game of the season. That was the crazy part.
Oh my God.
And um I was what's known as a power hitter.
Okay.
So I was like fifth to hit. So when I hit it, it like was like far out in the outfield. And I was the fastest person on my team. He made it to first or to home base, maybe third, you know what I'm saying? So I just took off and the second baseman decided she was gonna straddle the baseline. And like my nickname has preceded me in the past. And so I was just like, you know what? In my mind, like this is what's going through my mind. I was like, this little girl is half my size, height, width, whole 9 yards. Like I'm
Oh,
solid muscle at this point. Like she's gonna hit me, and this is just gonna hurt her. I'm just gonna keep checking. That was not what happened at all.
really?
So we collided, and just the way like the bottom half of her body made contact with the inside of my leg, and I ended up dislocating my knee and my patella. So that's what ended up causing all the tears. So I completely tore my ACL, MCL, and PFL, and my meniscus.
Sheesh.
Yeah, that was rough. That
That-
was rough.
And how long is the rehab for something like that?
So because of the extent of my injuries, so in addition to that, I had 28 hairline fractures and 26 bone bruises. So they had to wait. I had to wait to heal a little bit before I could have surgery. So that happened on Valentine's Day. I didn't have my first surgery until December. And so the first surgery was my ACL and my MCL. That was the first two that they fixed. Um, so the ACL recovery, that was a year. Like the rehab 3 days after surgery, and I was in there up until my next surgery. So literally got done with rehab for my ACL and had my second surgery for my meniscus and everything else that was torn up in there.
Sheesh.
Yeah.
Um,
Man, it was rough, but
I can only imagine how rough it is. Um, can I ask like what helped you get through that moment? Like, because for one, you're young, so like it was probably easy to be on fuck shit. If we just being honest and like just kind of like veer off. But, but you were able to clearly, still stay kind of on a straight path, no matter what happened to get to where you're at now. What are like some things that help you get through that? Because that's a long time to rehab, and you got to pivot on your life plans, I'm sure, because of that.
yeah, yeah, for sure. So it definitely wasn't easy. I was very disciplined and dedicated in my sports. I knew my goal was to go play in college and then go play pro. And then eventually that injury happened, like I knew right there on the field, like I was done for as an athlete, like that was it. And so like when you spend literally your whole life training for something and then to just watch it get taken from you right when it's right there, um, it's rough. Like I went through, that was the first time I experienced real true depression, honestly. And I remember like one morning because my mom is a teacher, and I remember one morning she came to get me up, get me dressed and whatnot. Because I literally could not move. Like I needed help doing everything the first couple of weeks. And I remember like she just came in and I was just like bawling my eyes, and she was like, "What's wrong? Like you need more pain medicine?" I was like, "No, like I just don't understand how a God who's supposed to love me can watch me go through something like this." You know, I've grown up in church my whole life, and so like I was really struggling with that, and so I wasn't necessarily mad at God, but like I had a lot of questions, like for me, then what is? And so slowly but surely, once I started walking again, I'm always a very positive person. So it wasn't nothing for me to just once I got over the first initial shock, like, okay, woe is me, this happened. It was okay, this happened to you. There's nothing you can do about it. What are you gonna do next? Like, what is your plan B? And so honestly, like really the thing that got me through it was my faith, really, because when that happens, like you have nothing else to lean on. Like everything you've known your whole life, it is done for. So it's challenging. It's challenging to go through something like that and stay positive. But I think it helps if you just focus yourself on something else. So, pain is temporary, and although I was in a lot of pain,
I I can imagine.
um, yeah, I mean, it was awful, but pain is temporary, and I was about to graduate. Still some things to look forward to. You're about to graduate, you're going off to college, like you're about to start a whole new life anyways. So now you can really figure out who you are. I had built my identity in being an athlete my whole life.
Yeah.
So now I have to figure out who am I outside of that, you know? And so I found out really quickly, shortly after I started walking again, I had a former coach of mine hit me up, was like, "Hey, about your injury, have you thought about coaching?" And I was like, "Man, I don't know the first thing about coaching. Like,
Do though.
what are you talking about?"
But you do.
So at first I didn't like it wasn't like it's such like this big thing to me. Like, how can I teach somebody how to do this? Like, how
Yeah.
can I? So I started coaching middle school volleyball when I was 18. Um, Started progressing. Got into coaching high school basketball, high school boys basketball. Coached the JV team last year, undefeated season, and then this year I've been an assistant coach to a national team out at the school that I teach at. So I'm actually a teacher now.
Okay.
Um,
Shout out to
so
you.
yeah,
Shout out to all the
thank you,
teachers
thank
out there.
you. And then I coached at Warner University for a very short stint. Um, I did summer with them, and then I was like, yeah, I cannot coach this in high school, so I'll just head on back to my high school
Chose
team.
high school. Oh, so you chose high school over college.
I I did. College was different. I got on with the girls' team, and I had never coached girls before. Outside of volleyball, I had never coached girls. So coaching girls basketball was very different for me. And so I was just like, nah, I'm more comfortable coaching boys. I need to head on back.
Yeah. And but it's you coaching, first of all, doing middle school all the way up to high school, you have a level of patience that I can only pray to one day have. Because I couldn't imagine wrangling middle schoolers up. And now high school boys, I remember being a high school boy and I was fucking terrible. So I can only imagine. Um, how do you feel that's helped you with what you do now as like the CEO of your team?
I mean, with coaching, you always have that experience of being able to manage people because you're dealing not only with your athletes, but you're dealing with their parents. So, and then you also have to focus on grades. So there's a lot of different factors that come into that. And so when I eventually started my own team, there's a lot of different factors. There's a lot of different people that you have to deal with, you have to handle. You have your players, you have your coaches, you have your game day staff, you have the league administration that you're a part of, you have the other team owners, and then of course you have the fans. And so you have to be able to, number one, know how to speak to people, and still get your point across, still be respectful, um, and still, maintain that leadership role. One thing that coaching has taught me, and just being a leader in general, is that leading doesn't always mean I'm speaking. Leading means sometimes I'm sitting there and I'm listening to what my players need, what, the fans are asking for us, what the league is asking for us. And so just honestly that, it's given me, like you said, a lot of patience. You have to be patient with younger kids. Especially when they're learning the sport, or when they're just learning new plays. You have to be patient because they're not professional players. They're not going to pick up the play like this. And
True.
so I think that was kind of the biggest shift for me was, okay, this is my expectation for my pro team, but I have to lower those expectations because they're high schoolers. Come on now.
Yeah,
So I feel like it's helped me in both. I've definitely experienced a lot of growth, and I credit that to my coaches, the coaches that I coached with in high school, and then my coaches with my pro team. Um, they've definitely helped me in different areas of growing. Being a young owner, um, at 21 is when I bought my team. So
that's
there's
great.
definitely going to be a lot of maturity that comes with owning something, and then um, just yeah, maturity, patience, growth, all that.
That's cool. That's cool. So which is crazy, organizational wise, you've essentially done everything under the umbrella of being a basketball organization because I see you became a manager in college. So,
So I was a manager for the football team at Southeastern.
yeah.
Um, yeah,
How did that come about?
man, I think so. My best guy friends were all on the football team, and I was like, dang, like I never see y'all during the season. And so I was like, you know what? I'm gonna just get a job with the football team, and that way we could all hang out. So it just so happened like they had just got a whole brand new coaching staff, and I had lived like maybe 2 blocks from the school.
Gosh.
And so I was like, do y'all need staff? Like, I really want to learn like more so not like anything about football. Like I know football, but I don't care to learn anything about it. I want to learn like the 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 sports medicine side. Teach me how to take players. Teach me how to do this. Teach me how to do that. So that's just kind of how it came about.
Oh man, so in emergency situations with your team, you can do anything that needs to be done to make sure y'all get to a game. But
Yeah, like I tape all my play like the players that weren't taped up before the games. I tape all my players.
shout out to you, man. Shout out to you. Shout out to you holding it down. So, were you still in college? I'm assuming you still were in college when you decided to walk up to the what's his name, Mr. Mark King, and tell him that you wanted to own a team. Still in school?
I was a sophomore in college.
Jesus, that's what's up though. This is pretty dope. I'm not gonna lie, this story, and we're not even through it all the way. It's hella inspiring. Um, just got to get out. I love it because this is you're young doing this. You're young, like you're young. 21 year, I was when I was 21, I didn't have this kind of ambition. I'm just gonna be honest. You know what I'm saying? A lot of 21-year-olds don't, and they don't know what they want, and you saw it instantly. I was like, yo, let me see about this. So how did that conversation go? Because I see
It,
you were just going to the games, checking out the games. So real quick, before you tell me how that conversation went, so how do you go from transition and be like, I'm coming to just watch hoops to start looking at the business side of it and say, hold on, wait, I can own one of these. Like, hold on, let me see about being like getting my own team. Or was it a situation where you didn't like a certain team and you wanted to create a team to beat them or something? Like, how did this, like, what made you even want the idea, like, want to get a team?
I think it was just more so from like the coach's perspective and like athlete wise. It was just like watching, I was like, man, if I was coaching, like I wouldn't let this happen. Or if I was the owner of the team, this would be different. And so I was like, I just found myself, I kept saying that, and I was just like, well, if I keep saying that, why don't I just do it? Like
Yeah.
I keep coming here and I'm watching my friends play. And it's like, man, I could be a better coach, but I know none of these teams are gonna give me that opportunity because like I'm mad young. So I was just like, if I create my own team, nobody can tell me no. But then when I created my own team, I didn't even like I did not want to be the coach of my own team. I was just like, let me hire a coach and call it a day.
It was too much being the owner and the coach, I'm sure.
Yeah, yeah. Like I mean, I did coach my pro team for a very short stint. I had fired my coach in the middle of our season and I took over coaching, made it into playoffs, and then I was like, okay, restart. Here we go.
Mid-season firings, man. That's he,
You got to be cutthroat sometimes. Like it's hard, but like
well, and that's
when
what
you
I was
really,
gonna say. That got to be part of the hard part of being a coach and the owner, because with your players, right? Like you
yeah,
as an owner, you got to think about the business of basketball with your players. You as a coach, you might have like a different relationship with them. So now you're thinking about the personal side a little bit too.
yeah, it's definitely challenging, especially because like the culture amongst my team is we're all very much family. And so it's hard when you have to get rid of one, that's been here for a while, or helped you from the start because that's like family, but at the end of the day, it's a business. So I have to do what's in the best interest of my business. If you're on any job, you're going to be fired eventually at some point. And so um, that's kind of how I try to explain it to my players because, it's not their job to see it from an owner's perspective. It's not their job to see it from a coaching perspective. It's their job to just be
Who
a player and who, yeah. And so, I try to explain it to my players before, like, I'm just going to try to allow you guys to see from my perspective. I have to see it from all three sides, you
Hey, that's
know.
real quick. What ring is that?
Oh, this is my FBA championship ring.
Flex on them. Flex on them. Yeah. Yeah.
It
Okay.
even says, let's see, it says, because they had it, especially in grade 40, my team did. So I'm seeing. Let's see. So my team, my new nickname is Boss Lady. So my team and everyone that I do business with, they all have decided to call me that. Um,
I mean, you ought
so
to.
yeah, yeah, makes
I
sense.
mean,
Definitely makes sense.
that's the beauty of being the CEO. That's pretty cool. You you didn't even think about the chance of them not giving you an opportunity. You're like, fuck it, I'm gonna create my own and rock like that, and that's ballsy. I know you're a
I
woman.
mean, you have to sometimes. Like, if there's always a way around certain things, and so I've always had a business mindset because I come from a family of entrepreneurs. And so for me, like I knew I wanted to do something with sports. Just the original plan was to own my own training facility. Well,
Mm.
at 21, that wasn't exactly feasible because I didn't have $1.7 million laying around to build anything. But I had been working three jobs in college for no reason because I was in school on an academic scholarship. My car was already paid off. Like I, I had no bills. Like I was just chilling. But I was working three jobs for literally no reason.
That
And just stacking up. And so it
you know,
wasn't,
you know what? Like, listen to this though, right? Because I'm gonna take it back. You asking God, why would you do this to me, right? And clearly, his thought process was, this might be your calling more so in sports, right? You're literally working three jobs for no fucking reason. But I'm sure you stacking money and that's creating a nest egg because you walk up to Mark King and ask what you got to do to own a team. And look how all that shit lines up.
I know, like it literally has been such a crazy ride. And some days it still is so surreal to me. Like when people like talk about it, like, oh, you're on a team. And I'm like, hold on, I do own a team. Like
Own a
it's
team.
still one of those things where like it hasn't fully set in and we're 4 years into this. But it's just like, and I tell people this all the time, I wouldn't change what happened to me for nothing because I've been able to impact more lives as a team owner than I would have been as a pro athlete. And that's just something that like I wouldn't trade for nothing in the world. Like I started this team to be able to help guys get to that next level and give guys that second chance that no other team was going to give them. So I wouldn't trade anything that happened uh, to go back in time. None of that.
This, I feel you. And when you say like the next level, what is the next level for your players? Like, was this like a feeder for like international or just anywhere that scouts that are looking for pro ball players? You can be anywhere and come check our guys out.
A little bit of both. We're not a feeder team per se, but I will say that we provide our guys with a lot of opportunities to be able to get overseas.
Okay.
Um, one of the things we just played in this past summer was the UBA National Championship. And that's directly sends you to the Dominican Republic. So, like the guys have that opportunity. We have a great relationship with the Magic G League team. They come and check our guys out. And then we play in the money tournaments, the Bay Area Showdown, the FedEx tournament out in Texas. And then we just got invited to play in the TBT. So we're providing these guys with experiences and platforms that not a whole lot of other teams in the state are going to give them.
I saw the TBT thing. I told you go get that Millie. I do need another interview right before y'all go out, or especially after y'all win that championship. I'm calling it now. So just go ahead and have me on the schedule under your list of people. I know the DM's gonna be blowing up. Go to mine. You feel me? Make sure you check me out with that. But that's cool. That's great because I mean, ballers want to keep balling, and the fact that for most people, the opportunity stops at a certain age that you can provide them, and your league can provide them with still the hope to keep balling and still can make some bread off of it. You know what I'm saying?
So, yeah, I'm excited for the summer, honestly.
Really. Are you guys doing the same tournaments and adding TBT to it, or are you guys just solely focusing on TBT for the summer?
Oh no, we're doing all the same tournaments and doing the TBT. So we have a very busy summer ahead of us. We're not even finished with the ABA yet. Like we have playoffs literally in 2 weeks. Um, so depending on how well we do, I mean, we just beat the current reigning Southern Region champions with 5 guys.
I did
So
in the Mississippi. Shout out to y'all. Shout out
and
to
shout
y'all.
out to the Mississippi Silverbacks. They were such a great team to play, honestly. And their hospitality by far is some of the best that we have experienced.
Really. Um, so for the league itself, is it just Southern base or is it nationwide for the ABA?
Give me one second.
Okay. I'm gonna pause it. Yeah, so for the league itself, is it only Southern base or is this nationwide? Like the teams you got?
Nationwide. There's like 176 teams in the ABA across the United States. So it's broken up into regions and then divisions.
Gotcha. And I saw you guys were ranked 12th?
We're ranked 12th in the nation. Yes.
12th in the nation. 176 teams. When you 12 out of 176 teams, I don't give a damn what level you on. You balling, and that's what's up. What so let's be real with your team. I know this your team, you love your team. What are your expectations going into the playoffs? Because you're obviously going to the playoffs. You just don't fall off a cliff in 2 weeks.
Right.
So,
Right. I am excited and nervous all at the same time. I mean, I have every confidence in my team that, we're gonna come out with the win. I do know it's probably gonna come down to us and the Kissimmee Lambs. It always does. They are kind of like a family franchise with us. We do a lot of business together. We have been since we were a team. Great organization to be friends with. But both of us are very competitive and both of us have very good teams. And so it's going to come down to the wire, honestly. It always does every time we play them. So I think it's going to be a nail biter, honestly, in the championship game if it comes down to us and the Lambs of who's going to win. Of course, I'm biased. I'm always going to say my team is going to come out with the win, but it's definitely going to be a great game.
definitely, definitely. Well, I'm going for the Royals. Um, I'm going for the Royals for sure. And yeah, man, I just love this opportunity. Like I say, I saw that you guys do like revenue sharing with the players, which is pretty cool. It kind of creates bosses for them too, like their own avenue to make their own money, which is dope. Where could people get jerseys or any merch from the Royals if they were looking to get merch?
So right now we're working on being able to like set up a website of where people can order stuff
Okay.
from our store. Right now it's just kind of like we're listening to what fans are saying, like, oh, I would love a shirt like this, or oh, I'd love a shirt like that. And so what we did this past season is we did player shirts. So it has like it says the player's name, and in front of the name it's the player, their number, and like two other pictures of them on there. And so like everyone loved those. And then that's pretty much where we're at when it comes to that.
Okay, cool, cool, cool. Definitely be on the lookout for that though. And would love to have me some Royal stuff to rock at any time. Um, what's next outside of the summer? Like what's next do you feel for like the Royals? Do you and the league itself? Like what do you see like as the future for you guys moving forward?
Moving forward, definitely every year I always take a step back, and I evaluate the season. I evaluate how things went, all across the board, players, coaches, staff. I evaluate myself. What are things that I can do better? I'm all about growth and all about growth across the board. What can we do as a team? So, definitely leveling up for sure. We are looking at a couple of different locations possibly to move the team to, still in Polk County, but moving to different cities possibly. Um, we love Lakeland. We've been in Lakeland for the last 3, 4 years, but we think it's time to move out of Lakeland and maybe try a different city. So, but still Polk County, like I said, we love Polk County. A lot of our guys are Polk County guys. So, um, that's what we're looking at. We're looking at building our own facility, hopefully here soon. Um, Making more impact in the community. Right now, we've been doing a food drive the second Tuesday of every month, partnering with two local churches, and just handing out fresh produce that Publix donates. So meats, vegetables, milk, like the whole 9 yards. And we just give that out for free to the community. Anyone's welcome to come. We feed roughly about like 200 to 300 people on those Tuesdays. Um, so thank you. We're really big on the community, so I definitely want to be more involved, especially within the schools. Some of the schools are hard to get into, but I've kind of made that as an excuse, and I don't want that to be an excuse anymore. So getting more into the schools, getting, even more involved in the communities, and like I said, leveling up, across the board. What can we do as players to get better? What can we do as coaches to get better? What can I can do as an owner to get better? So yeah,
Okay, that's cool. That's first of all, food drive is amazing. Um,
thank
but any community outreach is, that is major because you guys want the community support, you get the community support. Giving it back out is literally just gonna, it's like what the recycle triangle. You know what I'm saying? And it's
Right.
anything but grow because of that. And that's amazing that you guys are doing that. Where do you guys do the food drives? Because I know I'm definitely gonna clip this part up and put it on all social media so they can see it. Where is the food drive at?
So we do it at a church here in Lakeland, called the Gathering Place, and it's at let me remember the address now because I know the address. I believe is 2523 Broadway Street, Lakeland, Florida.
Okay.
So we do that the second Tuesday of every month at 6 p.m.
Okay.
And once you actually get this posted, I'll tag the church and the um add the address on there as well so people know.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. And yeah, I have that. I have it on like I mostly do my TikTok stuff, but it'll be on Instagram and Facebook and everything. And I'll just, get the address from you because that's major. People are in need. It's getting crazy out here. So
Yeah,
shout out to
definitely.
that. And shout out to you being a great owner, because bad owners don't have teams that are ranked number 12 in the nation.
That
It's
is very
normally,
true.
it's normally not how it happens. Bad owners don't have good teams on any level at any sport. And you having a good team, you being a good owner, has literally raised all boats. High tides raise all boats. And look at that, it's able to help you make a bigger impact in the community. And what you're doing is making the world a better place. You know what I'm saying?
Thank you.
So that
Thank
go
you.
back to, think about it. You crying, you not seeing your vision of what God wanted for you. And look at how you're helping the world right now.
I know it's such a like I said, it's such a surreal feeling, but it's also such a big team effort, you know. Like the Royals would not be the Royals without,
Shout out to
Coach
people.
Darius.
Yeah, shout
You
them
know what
out.
I'm saying? Coach Darius, that he's been one of my mentors since day one. He's been with us since day one. That is my guy right there. We added Coach Brandon this year from the Winter Park Storm. He's been a great addition. Our support system, we have Miss Tori. Miss Tori, man, she whatever we need, she is just like, I got y'all. And her family, they're just so great. And then the players, like their dedication to our team, they really they really take being a Royal serious. The name Royals means something to them. And it's just been so rewarding just to be able to sit back and watch that, take this dream that I had and be able to share that with them. They see that vision and be able to go with it. And so that's just been such a special thing. Like there's no other feeling that can relate to that. Those are my boys right there.
That-
Always gonna look after them.
how did you come with the name Royals?
So originally, when I said I wanted to build a training facility, I was gonna call it Royalty Athletics. That was gonna be the name of the company. The reason being is the area that I grew up in was not the best, and I lost quite a few of my homeboys to gang violence. And my major is also in criminal justice. And so I really wanted to create something for communities like that where kids could have a place to come that was safe, where they would have a sense of belonging and a sense of title. Like when these kids want to go join gangs, it's because they want that family feel. They want to be known as this, they want to be known as that. And so the idea behind royals, when you think of someone who's a royal, who's a royalty, you hold them in a very high regard. Number one, you think of kings, you think of queens, and you think of the royal family. And so anyone who would come under that name and be known as a royal, I wanted them to think of themselves as the same. You're part of a family now. You're held to a higher standard, and you're known. You're known as a royal. So, keep your heads up, young kings, young queens, So that was really the idea behind it, is to give them a sense of belonging, a sense of pride in who they were as young athletes.
That's pretty dope. And how did you come about getting your players? Like, you're a new person in a league, you're young. That might have worked to your advantage too at the same time being younger. Like, what happened? You just like all I'm not trying to be funny. You just post on Facebook, hey y'all, meet me at the Y on Tuesday at 5. I'm holding trial.
A lot of it was actually word of mouth. Guys want to hoop. There's a lot of guys out there that are hungry to hoop. And so when I put everything together, with our first coaches and whatnot, we started going out to the recs. We were going to the parks. Like I was like, stay away from the colleges, high schools. I want to say that. Go to the recs, go to the parks, find the people that been overlooked. I want those guys. And word of mouth got out real quick that there was a new team, a new owner, and a female owner at that. And so we had a fantastic first year tryout. Like there was 70, like 75 people that showed up.
Really?
Um, it was packed. It was packed. And so that's how it was our first year. And then as we won the championship our first year. And then as we've continued on as an organization and as a team, most of my guys have been with me for the last 2 to 3 years. I still have one that's from my original season. Um, but most of my guys, my retention rate is great with them because they know what we're doing here. No other team is providing this kind of opportunity that we're providing, the opportunities that we're getting them, the looks that we're getting them, um, and whatnot. And so now we don't have to do too much recruiting. I mean, there's still recruiting that my coaches do. I don't have to do too much recruiting, little to none now, which is nice.
They can rely on the coach
Um,
and you
yeah, yeah.
final say.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So, coaches will do a majority of the recruiting if we do any recruiting, but mostly, I mean, guys, our DMs stay full of guys that, hey, you got a spot open or when is tryouts, which we are having tryouts soon. We're looking at April 19th for our tryout, and that will be for those guys to come on and join us through our summer tour and all the money tournaments and whatnot, and then going into our next season for the ABA.
You all right, yeah.
So it's a quick turnaround time.
I ain't gonna post this part because you want as many people as possible. What do you feel like you need to add to the team? You need a wing, you need a big, another
Ugh.
ball handling guard, corner three and D guy.
Guard wise, like shooting guards, honestly, I'm good on those. I do need size. We need size. I need a stretch wing. I need a backup point guard. I need a real solid big,
I
like
can post this. You
our,
need a little bit of everything. That's cool. All
we
right.
do. We do. We need a little bit of everything, like our bigs are holding it down right now. But some of our bigs, they're not bigs, they're actually wings. But they're 6'5" or 6'6", 6'7". I'm sorry, I gotta put you down below right now because it just, you know what I'm saying? So, um, definitely looking for solid bigs to come in. Definitely need more size. Like I said, a stretch wing would be awesome to have. A solid shooter, like consistently shooting. Our guys hold it down pretty well. But I know they would appreciate the help for sure. And then, like I said, a backup point guard. Our point guard, Isaiah Moody, he does great when but he needs somebody to come and relieve him sometimes.
Somebody
Um,
that you guys can trust, right? That's the most.
yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I mean, our shooting guards hold it down. Joe Stubbs, Cyrus Barnes, they're holding it down. Uh, um, so it's hard to compete with those guys. So
Yeah, I feel you. So we have one-time champ, soon to be two-time champ after this year. I'm calling it now.
league champions. So we've won actually 5 championships,
Five
and
champs.
we've won one league championship, one national championship, and then we have won four, so six, four tournament championships.
So
So
you do know this isn't how it normally works, right?
yeah,
Okay. I just wanted to make sure because some people might think, hey, this is everybody comes in and they just win like this. And
that
y'all number 12, somebody 126.
yeah.
Feel me? So like some somebody out here having a lot of cold nights, you know what I'm saying? So like
Yeah.
that is amazing. And do you feel like starting off winning the way that you guys have been winning has made it easier to sustain it? Because like you said, you don't really need to look for players as much anymore. Like people are coming to you.
Yes and no. So our first year definitely that is a solid foundation. We built the Royals off of being a championship team year one. Year two was rough. It was rough. We fired our coach,
Oh yeah.
cut majority of the players, rebranded, changed the name from Lakeland Royals to Polk County Royals. Um, Brought in new coaches, brought in new players, went through that whole process. And so it really wasn't until honestly right before we went into the ABA. So from not this past November, but the November before then, um, 23 going into 24, that you really started to see that shift. And so when we did that, I mean, our preseason before we went into the ABA this year, we went 40-4. Like we played 44 games from here to Georgia. Um, and
Kicking
so when you
just whooping ass up and down
up
Florida.
and down, Florida, Georgia, I mean, when you put together a solid squad and you have the type of chemistry that we have, it's hard to beat us. I mean, these teams put together great teams. Don't get me wrong, they have fantastic players. But at the end of the day, you just threw some guys together that have maybe been playing with each other a couple months. Our guys have been playing with each other for the last 2 to 3 years. You can't beat that chemistry. So you can be bigger than us, taller than us, whatever you think you are than us. But at the end of the day, I'm always bet on my team, always like us, because I know what our guys do when we're not practicing together. They're hooping together. They spend time together outside of practice. Like these guys love each other. You know what I'm saying? Like they're legit brothers. So it's like you can't beat that. And so we're very, very selective of who we bring in because of that. We don't want anybody that's going to disrupt that culture and that mentality because it's took us a minute to build that. It does take any team a minute to build that. And that's what I tell these other teams. I've talked to a couple of first year teams this year that are their first year in ABA. And although it's my first year in the ABA, it's not my first year as a team. Um, and I come alongside them to be the person that I didn't have. I didn't have anybody to come alongside me and be like, oh, don't do this, don't do that. Or, hey, try this, try that. I was the op from the jump, like where I just wasn't taken seriously because I was a female and I was young.
Yeah.
So, I would look at these guys like, hey, year one, keep your head up. Doesn't always turn out how mine did. But, here are some things to try. You have a good team, but your chemistry is not there. That's why we beat you. Simple as that. Then you have to get a good coach. My coach is, I say this day in, day out. My coach is the best coach in the state of Florida. And I stand behind that 10 toes down. You're not gonna outcoach him. It's just simple as that.
And when it comes to close games, coaching is what wins those games.
Exactly. Like I said, we just won a game with a team that had a full roster with 6 guys, five, because one of ours got ejected. 5 guys.
Had the ref hating on y'all.
The rest were definitely hitting.
Hey man.
It was
But
rough. It was a rough game.
I got there with the dub. And that's all that matters.
Definitely.
That's all that matters. All right, so we're gonna wrap this up. When's the next game for the Royals?
So we were supposed to play Saturday and Sunday this week, but it's the end, so we're not. Our playoffs start March 8th and 9th, and then from there, when we win on the 9th, we'll head to Mobile, Alabama for regionals on the 15th and 16th, and then from there we'll head to um, once we win regionals, we'll head to St. Louis, Missouri to play in nationals April 4th through 6th. So busy, busy, busy.
Busy spring, which only sets y'all up for a busy summer, a
Yep.
lot of wins, a lot of trophies, a lot of rings. You start
Yeah.
winning, like you start winning a bunch of rings, you're gonna just keep keep wearing them, like adding on to them? Or you gonna be a one of a time, one at a time?
I mean, it depends. So
They get big.
this is the first ring, and I really only wear it for interviews. Other than
Okay.
that, it stays in its nice, pretty little box. Uh, so, or if I'm walking into somewhere like an awards banquet or something, I'll put the ring on. But I have a feeling when we win the ABA championship, I don't think I'm gonna take that ring off. I think I just keep that one on.
Yeah, you gotta keep rocking, man. All right. So anybody want to shout out? Anybody want to thank? Show your appreciation. Shout out the Royals. Whatever you want to do. Here you go.
Shout out to my parents, backing me up 100%.
Shout out.
Shout out to the Royals, my boys. I love y'all so much. Your dedication to this team is unwavering. I love y'all. Y'all are my family. Shout out to Coach Brandon, Coach Darius. I love you guys for continuously leading this team and steering them in the right direction. And shout out to Miss Tori for just being the best team mom, team manager we got. Um, and everyone else that helps out with the Royals. The Royals wouldn't be who we are without y'all. So definitely thank you for making it happen, especially this season. Thank you for making it happen.
Yes, sure. Yes, yes, yes. I want to say thank you for being on. I really appreciate it. Um, this
Absolutely. Thank you
this
for having me.
Oh, it's all good. This is actually like my first time like being able to do a podcast in more of like an interview space. Normally it's just me and a couple of my homeboys talking shit about sports, but this is part of like what I want to do in the space anyway, like talk to more people, talk to athletes,
Okay.
talk to owners, coaches, whatever. And this is pretty cool. This is a pretty good perspective. Young woman
Yeah,
put
if you ever want to interview any of my coaches or any of my players, let me know. They're always down.
Gotcha. Gotcha. So we'll definitely have this up, which will be cool. I'll have it up tomorrow morning. Have the clips up for you so people will know where to go get the food at in case they need food. Shout out to you holding down the community. And shout out to all the listeners. Y'all make sure y'all support the Royals. Y'all make sure you let me know when the merch available so I can let people know where to get the merch.
I got you for sure.
Be playing on that. All
I
right.
know. I am. I am. I got to get it together.
All right. Now you said you listen to the people. I'm the people now.
Okay.
All right. So shout out to everybody listening. This will be up soon. I will have a link to the Royals website so you can see anything Royals that y'all want to see, their Instagram. Let me know what other social media y'all got. All I got is Instagram right now. So y'all can follow them and y'all can
We
keep
have
up.
Instagram, website,
Yeah,
TikTok,
there we go.
although we don't post too much on TikTok.
See,
We do have TikTok.
we'll, we'll have everything on in the description so you can check them out here. However you want to check them out and follow them more on TikTok so they can be a little more active on TikTok. All right. I appreciate everybody for listening, man. Peace out.